This review has been made possible by Royal Auto in Oneonta, New York. Gavin and his staff have a great selection of new and used Hyundais, Dodge, Jeep, and Chrysler models, as well as an increasing amount of other interesting vehicles. You can contact them using the information provided on the screen or in the description of this video. A big janky thank you to Gavin for opening up his inventory to us and allowing us to drive some great cars. And now, on to the feature presentation. And welcome back to Janky AF. Now, in the following video, you're going to hear me say a couple of things that aren't 100% accurate, and because we value transparency here at Janky AF, I just wanted to go over those very briefly with you. So firstly, you'll hear me refer to this 2022 Santa Cruz as a 2023 Santa Cruz. You'll hear me refer to it as such multiple times, and it's a 2022, not a 2023. Secondly, I mentioned that my good friend Gavin down at Royal Hyundai sold 2 of these already. Now that is actually true, but not in the way I said it. Now, the vehicle that I drove was actually a dealer trade, okay? So he traded away that car for another piece of inventory, which he was then able to sell, which was a Kona. Now that may sound like you're getting rid of a Santa Cruz, but actually the fact that that other dealer was willing to trade a Santa Cruz for a Kona, which is a car that you would think would be much easier to sell, and that goes into the narrative of this car. It means that I was actually demanded by them, and I will try to check with Gavin, but I'm pretty sure that car will or was already sold very quickly. Secondly, the first Santa Cruz that he sold was actually crashed and wrecked by its owner, who then proceeded to go back to him and buy another one. So technically he actually did sell 2 of them, if you want to be very literal about it. And also, if you get a brand new Santa Cruz and you crash it and wreck it, and your immediate thought is to go out and get another one, then that's probably also a good sign for the vehicle. So just wanted to provide that context for the video in general, and Janky thank you. And welcome back to Janky AF. Now here we have a beautiful 2023 Hyundai Santa Cruz in a beautiful striking matte sage green. Now, I've put on my green coat to match the car. We have a very short amount of time to drive this vehicle, so giddy up, let's go. Hey. And welcome back to Janky AF. Well, this is a very nice surprise for me. Here we are driving what I think is a brand new 2023 Hyundai Santa Cruz in a beautiful sage green. This car has 23 miles on it. It's brand new and it's already sold. And I apologize because this won't be the most comprehensive review. I only have a limited amount of time with this car. Thank you so much to Gavin from Royal Auto in Oneonta, who is allowing us to drive some vehicles on the channel. We're very, very appreciative of that, and you should definitely get a hold of him and get a hold of him if you want to get into something new or used. The Santa Cruz, and I think this will be the storyline for this car in my brief review of it, is that I believe Car and Driver it was, or some review came out and said it's a really cool car that nobody's going to buy. Really cool car that nobody's going to buy. Now, of course, this has echoes of the Subaru Baja, and but this segment is actually picked up. You have the Honda Ridgeline now, and you have some others like that that are sort of these like car trucks, you know, harkening all the way back to the El Camino and the Ranchero. And if you think about it, I don't know the exact size of this bed. I'll try to get that information up on the screen for you. But it's not that smaller than, like, you know, a Tacoma with the smallest bed with the crew cab. A lot of these trucks come with crew cabs in them now, so the bed's not that big anyways. So if you're not worried about getting plywood or mattresses in the back, it's still an extremely practical vehicle, and you're riding up nice and high. Now, it does, of course, have all-wheel drive, and you can actually lock the axle in here, so that adds a little bit more sort of toughness and truck-like elements to it. I don't know the tire size. I'll try to get that up on there on the screen for you too. And I don't know what engine's in it. I'll try to get that up too. But I'm just so excited to be driving it. The exterior styling I absolutely love. I think it looks so cool. I think Santa Cruz is the right name for it. Obviously in this sage green, it's a beautiful, beautiful color, and it's like not, you know, we call it a matte finish. It's got a gloss on it, but it's a non-metallic finish, so we'll call it a matte gloss, even though that sounds extremely oxymoronic. Hyundai, to me, is doing all the styling completely right. I drove a Sonata. You can check that video out. I thought the styling of that car was amazing. I love how unique it is. I love the light bar on the hood. I love everything about it. Even the Elantra, you know, like a base model car, the rear end of those in particular is very, very beautiful. And I think they did all the angles completely right on this. Now, the rear window does like slant up, but that's pretty common in any car, an SUV now. It's just the way of the world now. But your window lines aren't too high. You don't really want to rest your elbow in the resting elbow test, but still a very, very nice car to be in and a very, very nice car to look at from outside. I love the little triangle that's on sort of the front door area. Hyundai just does angles so well, and when the light hits them, it looks so, so cool because you see these sharp, distinct angles, but they don't beat you over the head with it. So I think that's very, very cool. The interior, also wonderful. It actually reminds me of my 1995 Buick LeSabre because you have this sort of chrome feature here that sweeps all the way around and goes into your ventilation system. You have this lovely little tablet that's been dropped right in. That's all your, you know, speed and tachometer information and like that. And then it goes all the way, it comes down for the center console and then wraps back all the way around. So the interior is lovely. Hyundai's materials, and I'm sure this isn't a real leather, but their fit and finish, the materials has really stepped up. I think the brand's doing really, really cool, interesting things. And I think they are going to sell these. That's the cool part. Now, Gavin's already sold 2 of them, and it's a relatively small dealership in a rural area. But that being said, this is sort of the perfect car for a rural area. Now, this is definitely a competitor with Subaru as well. And I gotta say, it's really, really nice in here. Now, I haven't been in any extremely new Subarus, but I'd be hard-pressed to find a better interior than this in sort of this type of car. You do have your paddle shifters. You're probably not going to use them, most likely. Looks like we have a 7-speed here. As you can see, the interior is completely cordoned off with all sorts of plastic wrap, and I'm going to try to not get this car dirty at all, on the inside anyways. Your shifter is this nice big sort of like hammerhead shark grab handle. Works very well, and you do get that feeling like you're sitting up high. You know, it's a very nice driving position. Your visibility is actually quite good. Your rear view mirror, I like these newfangled rear view mirrors where they're almost borderless on the edge, and you do have this great cute little window that you can open in the back too, so you can get some fresh air in there. You have a sunroof, which is very nice. It's a really, really nice place to be. And I will say, it's quite quiet in here. So for, you know, a quote unquote truck or a truckster or something like that, quite a nice and luxurious place to be. We have to obligatorily stomp on it just a little bit, just to see if she's got any juice in here. Hopefully there's no police officers around and I don't get a ticket because I cannot afford one. Whoa. Boy. Quite good pickup. Now I'm going to go ahead and guess that this is some sort of turbocharged 4-cylinder. And like I said, I'll try to get the information on you for you on the screen. All your little USB stuff is all nice and lit up. It'd be great to drive this car on a road trip. And it'd be great for just around town. Now, getting groceries, something like that. You got tons of storage in the back. The back actually has a great flip-up thing, and it's a cooler. You can put all your drinks in there, keep them on ice for your long road trip. I think it's completely sealed in, so it's not going to leak anywhere. I'm sure it's got a lot of cool trick features that I don't even know about. We're going to turn around here, do our turning circle test. It does rather feel like a truck, actually, not in a bad way, but just when you got these big tires and it's pretty sprung up, so you do feel like it's got that sort of, rigid, tall bounce to it that a truck has, which I actually think is a good thing. It makes you feel like you're in a truck, which is, I think, what you want to feel like. You don't necessarily want to feel like you're in a car in this. Turning circle is not great, but not terrible. Your rear 3/4 visibility is actually not bad. You can get a decent view out of that side window there, even with the high line. Your A-pillar is pretty far out front. Now, of course, I do have a camera hooked up, but with your side view, or your rear view mirror and your A-pillar, there's a bit of a visibility challenge there, but I can see bright lights coming at me. So we'll pull out here again. I wish I could tell you more about the back seat. The seat's folded up and there's a bunch of cardboard in there. Like I said, this is just going to be sort of a quick hitter, but I couldn't pass up the opportunity to drive it. But it looks like when it does fold down, the nice thing is it does fold up so you can put even more stuff there. You could probably use this as a contractor vehicle if you really wanted to, and it has this nice factory roof rack on top of it as well. But it looks like you could fit 3 back there pretty comfortably. Now the front grille of this appears to be, I'm not sure if it's exactly like the new Tucson, which I think is also a pretty good looking car. I would say I like the sedans a little bit more, but it has this big grille with, of course, these trick lights where the whole grille itself kind of illuminates up. Maybe you can see that on the front camera, hopefully. And again, just the level of quality that Hyundai has achieved in recent years is really, really impressive. I just drove a Volvo S60 and it has these same sort of like triangular diamond shaped sort of nodules on a lot of your tactile control functions, which I think is a really nice touch. And boy, it's just a really, really nice ride. It rides really smooth. Your handling feels very tight and compact. Now it's a brand new vehicle, so I imagine it should. And we'll see how these things hold up. But with that Hyundai warranty, hard to go wrong with it. So that is a little quick tour of the brand new Hyundai Santa Cruz. Extremely happy and fortunate to be driving this car. It's a fantastic color, and like I said, it's already sold. But I do like that, at least from a small anecdotal perspective, these things are starting to sell and get out there. I've already seen one out in the wild, which I threw up on my Instagram, AF Janky, and I hope to see a lot more of them. Hopefully Gavin gets another one in stock. Maybe we can do a more full road test, but seems like they're a decent hot commodity, so that makes me really, really happy. So again, thanks so much to Gavin and Royal Auto in Oneonta, New York. Give him a call, get a hold of him. He's a great dude, and he really is doing really cool things at that dealership. You know, dealerships get such a bad rap. I just watched this video of Tyler Hoover on the VinWiki channel, and he was saying how, you know, car dealers are the only people who somehow get scorned for making money in a capitalistic society. But if you really sit down and talk with a lot of these dealerships, they're working really, really hard and they're trying to do honest business. So I really respect that, and I think that hopefully, you know, with all these CarWow and CarMax and all these things, they have disrupted the industry, but I think dealerships, and maybe this is an unwritten story, I think a lot of dealerships have adapted. Gavin just sold a car to a fella in Virginia, a Hyundai EV model, and he shipped it to him at cost, and so the car was delivered to him. A lot of dealerships now are doing free at-home delivery if you're local. So I really do think that forming a relationship with someone that you're doing business with can be very beneficial, because if something does go wrong, there's a little bit of recourse. And if you buy from one of these sort of online sites, then if something does go wrong, there's not necessarily anyone there to sort of help you out and get you through the process and get you through whatever's going on. So with that being said, please do give them a call if you got any questions about any vehicles. And until next time, Janky do Thanky. I gotta say, I can't believe, there's a little addendum here, I can't believe how quiet and nice this thing is to drive in. I would love to drive one of these. And I think, you know, these truckster things, these like El Camino type things, they really are starting to get bigger in the market. And I think, like, because now there's competition within that marketplace, you know, you have your Honda Ridgeline, I believe there's some other ones too, and really any Toyota pickup truck with a crew cab is gonna have this sort of same thing going on, where a 4-foot bed is not really, you know, you can laugh at it all you want, it's not a real truck, whatever. But a lot of times it's nice to be able to chuck stuff back there under the tonneau cover, and it's got like this slidey cover that comes up, this plastic thing. Now, you know, it was a little awkward to operate, but I'm sure you get the hang of it. And, you know, this thing is not cheap. I think the MSRP is like $38,000 on it. Now, maybe if you get a slightly used one once those start to come around. But you know, for a well-equipped full-size truck, you're going to be paying probably more than that, quite honestly. And you know, it does offer a ton of practicality. I would imagine, especially if you put some winter tires on this thing, that it'd be an absolute beast in the snow. I don't know what the towing capacity is. I can try to find that information out for you. But I do think these cars they're kind of perfect, because for someone who doesn't necessarily want an SUV, who's not carrying around 16 people in their car, but still wants to drive 4 or 5 people around, it's really, really appealing, because you could really get used to driving to something like this. You're nice and high up in the car, but it has like sort of the refinement of more of a car type situation than a truck type situation. And boy, it is a pleasure to drive. It's steering, very nice feel to it. We're gonna pull back in here. So just some additional thoughts there. Boy, I'm super psyched to be driving this. Ever since I saw these things come out, I thought they were so cool. And I did worry, like, I guess many, that they just weren't going to sell and they'd become sort of like a, you know, enthusiast car in 10 to 12 years, like a Pontiac Aztek or something like that. But I do applaud Hyundai for making this car. I think that's really, really cool. Now, you would think that if they're just building it on like a Tucson platform or something like that, it probably doesn't require actually that much extra engineering, and they're able to come out with a distinct model. So I don't know what the sales figures are on these things. Very nice backup screen here. Nice high resolution, big screen. You know, I drive a lot of sort of janky older cars, and I really like janky older cars, but the more, it's really started with the Sonata, the more of these sort of newfangled cars I drive, you just realize that the driving experience is, you know, even for your most basic non-luxury automaker, there's a lot of competition in the market, and the quality of these things is just really, really impressive. So we're up to a whopping 32 miles on this Hyundai Santa Cruz. It's in this beautiful, beautiful color. They're doing this sort of like matte thing that a lot of the Tacomas are doing. I think it's like a cool trend in the automotive world. Nice shifter action there. We're in park. So heated seats. You know, you got a 3-way adjustable heated seats here. Really deep, spacious console here. Boy, it's a really, really nice place to be in. I would love to eat up some miles on the highway this thing. I'm not sure what the gas mileage is. Again, I'll try to get some of those numbers up on the screen for you. Digital gauges throughout. Just a really, really impressive car. And like I said, I'm thrilled to be driving it. So again, we say Janky do Thanky.